Oh gosh, that was a scare, like this pumpkaboo. I love this thing so much. It's been a fun array of new plushies for me this today. So we've got for you round 4 Gavin, who has managed to climb back from missing that first round to come into round 4, and we've got Juan Dominguez as his opponent here. And on your screen, guys, on your left side, you've got Gavin with that Smeargle Ludicolo, Lunala Stakataka, Incineroar, and Xerneas. And on your right, Juan Carlos with Kyogre, Kanto, Raichu, Yveltal, Kartana, Tapu Lele, and Incineroar. So Stakataka, obviously we've seen a lot as a great answer to a lot of like some of the fairy types that we've seen, especially Xerneas. Lunala, one of the Pokemon I think, you know, Lunala, kind of Xerneas core, lovingly dubbed Space X by a lot of you players out there. And Smeargle kind of has a gamut of moves that it can run, has the ability for the Wide Guard, has Spore, Follow Me. We did see a Rise and Lovely Kiss Smeargle, you know, able to put Grass-type Pokemon to sleep, which against that Kartana on Juan's side might be a good idea. Again, Ludicolo, though, going to be a great answer to the potential of that Kyogre being brought in. And Lunala has a pool of moves that it can swim in thanks to Kyogre's drizzle. Oh, just kidding. So I think we've got a little bit of a DS malfunction going on right now, so just hang tight around, guys. Figure out what your plans are for Halloween next month, because you could dress up like this cute little pumpkaboo, which is just as Miss Magius. These are the cutest things. It's winking. But hopefully, I'm gonna fix this up a little bit. But again, like Stakataka has been a Pokemon that, to coin its the way it's spelled, is a powerhouse in some ways. Where it is definitely a Pokemon that you know, once you can set it up properly, and once you make sure that a lot of the threats to knock it out aren't there anymore, can kind of sweep up against Pokemon like Xerneas. And, you know, Gavin also has another answer to the Xerneas. Another Xerneas answer is Xerneas. But Lunala, despite being super weak to Dark-type moves, also has the chance to kind of, like, make sure that it is Pokemon that is able to really, you know, take advantage of that Shadow Shield and deal some damage. Tapu Lele, I think personally, one of the best Tapus in this format right now. That Psychic Terrain gonna really stop Incineroars, which are running around, from being able to get those fake outs because of that terrain, as and kind of something new is that Cantonian Raichu, not a Pokemon I think you'd really expect. Obviously we did see it in 2016, especially on somebody's World's winning team. But this will be a fun match, so both players, after this small DS malfunction, have locked in their teams, and we are going straight into this round 4, game 1. I got a little bit of food in me, so I have a little bit of energy. We'll see how long that lasts. But this will be a fun match, as Yveltal and Raichu are going to be the Pokemon of choice as the lead for Juan Dominguez, and Smeargle and Xerneas. So also a very familiar pairing on this, but Juan has that fake out potential now, has a Dark Aura, and we have Fairy Aura from Yveltal on here, from Xerneas on here as well. Smeargle, though, going to be able to draw attention away if it needs to, is going to be able to at least try to make sure that that Xerneas can be set up, and once that Xerneas is set up, it's going to be able to do a lot of damage. You know, it is a Pokemon that has kind of been one of those really scary mons where once you get that, no follow me from that Smeargle, as Fake Out goes into that Xerneas, and Fake Out from Smeargle goes into the Yveltal as well. So, kind of a turn here where none of the restricteds here are going to be able to really move, as Smeargle's Moody close off one of his turns. So kind of a quote-unquote dead-ish turn. Smeargle now has the ability to go for that follow me and draw attention away. The Yveltal could potentially knock off things if it needs to. That Raichu might want to Volt Switch out of there, has already used that Fake Out. And Yveltal is actually going to be the one switched out on this turn as Kartana comes in. Kartana is scary Pokemon against both of Gavin's mons on here. That Smeargle, obviously, you know, being a normal type, won't take fighting type moves very well. That Sacred Sword, as Raichu goes for Nuzzle, not a very high damage move, but does have the guaranteed paralysis, so it's going to be able to stop that Smeargle if it needs to. As Geomancy from Xerneas is going to be going off on this turn, is able to consume that Power Herb and make sure that it gets those pluses that it needs to. It's that +2, that special attack, special defense, and that speed. But that Kartana being on the field here, potentially with a Smart Strike, is going to be very scary towards it. And Smeargle manages to get that accuracy. If it had Lovely Kiss, that'd be great, as speed does fall though. So it is paralyzed, so there's also that chance of it not being able to move on this turn. But that Xerneas' setup might be able to take out a Kartana with a Moonblast because of that +2 to special attack and that Fairy Aura up on the field. So Gavin probably a little bit threatened by that Kartana, but not really super highly threatened by it. Smeargle going once again for that Follow Me, going to draw attention to itself and make sure that Xerneas does not get really hit, as Xerneas goes for the Dazzling Gleam to connect with both these Pokemon, almost picks up the knockout on Raichu, but Raichu holds on with that Focus Sash. And Raichu going for the Volt Switch, they're going to get out of there, goes into that Smeargle because of that Follow Me, and Juan is now able to kind of pivot into a Pokemon that he might be able to use to go against that Xerneas' Incineroar comes in, and is going to be able to get an Intimidate into both these Pokemon, super unnecessary on that Xerneas, which is a special attacker, as Kartana goes for the Smart Strike, is going to pick up the knockout on that Smeargle and get a Beast Boost, making it even scarier against this Xerneas. However, the Xerneas might be able, is able to pick up a knockout with that Dazzling Gleam. However, the Incineroar now has that potential to fake out that Xerneas, which will probably force Gavin to have to protect as Ludicolo comes into the field now. So Gavin have to consider the options here. There are fake out opportunities for both that Ludicolo and that Incineroar, just depending on which one can get that fake out first. That Kartana did get knocked down to about a little under half from that Dazzling Gleam from before. Moonblast should be able to pick it up though, if it doesn't get faked out first. And Ludicolo gets the fake out before that Incineroar fakes out. The Incineroar keeps it from attacking that Xerneas, as Dazzling Gleam is actually going to be the move again from Gavin. It's going to do damage to both Pokemon, picks up a knockout on Kartana, gets rid of that threat, and does a lot of damage to Incineroar. So Juan's going to be a little bit on the back foot now, not going to be really able to do a lot of damage here. Yveltal is going to come in, but against a Geomancy Fairy boosted Xerneas is going to have to be very careful about how it maneuvers around this team on Gavin's side. That Incineroar can't take another Dazzling Gleam. It is at the range where it is going to get knocked out if it gets hit again. So Gavin in a really good spot. Both those Pokemon are very healthy here, as Ludicolo is actually going to be switched out, and we'll be getting the last Pokemon on Gavin's team revealed to us, which is going to be that Lunala, as Dazzling Gleam from Xerneas is going to connect with both Pokemon, picks up a knockout very easily on that Yveltal, and knocks out the Incineroar, forcing Juan into his last Pokemon slot here. And this Lunala gets switched in for free. So here's that SpaceX for you guys, as Raichu, with that 1 HP from that Focus Sash, was the last Pokemon, and unless Gavin accidentally clicks forfeit, this is going to be a game that goes to Juan. So, and Juan recognizing that does forfeit. Game 1 to Gavin, and Game 2 is going to require a lot of kind of an adjustment, because Gavin managed to set up that that Xerneas was able to kind of steamroll into Juan's team, which is kind of like the sign of what we've seen from Xerneas. If you let it get set up and you don't have an answer to that Geomancy, you won't really be able to take care of it as much as you need to. I think Juan's gonna have to consider stopping fake outs from happening, and at least taking care of that Smeargle in a better way. We know it has Follow Me, and unless Juan has any sort of spread moves, he won't be really able to stop it. However, Juan has the advantage of being able to control the weather in a way, so if he's got, like, so if he can set up that Kyogre and just go after Gavin's Pokemon, but has to be careful about Ludicolo. So some Juan's gonna have to think about how he's gonna deal with a lot of the Pokemon Gavin said that can protect his heavy hitters there. It's a little bit of a tough spot for Juan. The Smeargle obviously able to carry Wide Guard as well, and nothing really on Juan's side, I think, really able to have Fate except potentially that Raichu to break that Wide Guard and allow his Kyogre to maneuver around a little bit better. I mean, Gavin is, if he is free to set up that Geomancy again with that Smeargle and that Xerneas, he's going to be able to do so very easily. There's not a lot that Juan can do to stop it. We know that his Pokemon are a little bit slower than whatever Gavin has on his team. The two Fake Outers, that Raichu might be able to be a little bit more helpful if it's used in a way that can benefit Juan a little bit more. So going into game 2, we'll see what adjustments both players have made, and we'll see if Gavin's able to take this 2-0 or if we'll be forced to a game 3. As Kyogre and Raichu, this is also very familiar, are going to be the Pokemon of choice as the lead here, and Smeargle and Xerneas once more for Gavin is going to be the lead. As now we've got both the Fake Out potentials. We know that Raichu is faster, but now this Kyogre has that spread move potential and can ignore that follow me that Smeargle has. So one might want to deny that that Geomancy, because if he doesn't, that Smeargle, like that Xerneas is going to be able to do a lot against Juan's team. This Kyogre though, if it's got any sort of spread move, is going to want to click that right now as it goes. So Juan, I think, good adjustment on his team, at least here for his leads, that Raichu over. Very nice set. Smeargle is actually going to get out of there and he'll be switched in. Before that, Incineroar is going to get the Intimidate, which are Pokemon that don't really need it, doesn't really matter for them. And now we've got a Protect from Xerneas, not going to take any damage whatsoever from whatever's happening. His Fake Out from Raichu goes into what was that Smeargle is now done Incineroar, and Water Spout from Kyogre at full health. This Incineroar is going to go down unless by some miracle. Yeah, no, definitely gets knocked out, and this Incineroar goes down for that increase of that Smeargle, and that Kyogre is going to be in a very good spot now to go after that Xerneas as well. Smeargle comes back in, also has the potential, like we know it has Fake Out, so it can Fake Out that Kyogre if it needs to, and is going to be able to kind of just make sure that Kyogre is stopped, and potentially, the Xerneas is also going to be switched out, this time for that Lunala that we saw before, which didn't really do much, as Smeargle goes for the Wide Guard, so going to stop Water Spout from hitting into either of these Pokemon thanks to that Wide Guard, and Lunala almost safely switching in as Raichu goes for the Nuzzle, again goes into the Xerneas spot, so Gavin protecting that, that Xerneas wants to make sure that Paralysis doesn't hurt him later on. And that Smeargle, that Rise and Special Defense would have been nice against other Pokemon, but that Special Defense drop is going to be a little bit tougher to work with. So Lunala taking one for the team, gets nuzzled, has a chance of Paralysis now, but that Xerneas in the back, not quite set up yet, but at least has not taken damage, and isn't paralyzed. Juan might have to reconsider having that Kyogre there, or choose a different move besides that Water Spout. Obviously now that Smeargle has revealed Wide Guard, it's going to be able to make sure that Kyogre is a floating whale and can attack. So actually we got the Lunala being switched out now, as that Xerneas is coming back into that field, is not muzzled, is not paralyzed, is not quite set up yet, but has the potential to in a little bit, as Smeargle goes for the Wide Guard again. No switch out from Juan, so that Kyogre is using Water Spout again, does not connect, thanks again to that Wide Guard. And Raichu going for the Nuzzle one more time, this time into the Smeargle spot, paralyzes the Smeargle, but that Xerneas got in absolutely for free, did not take damage, is not paralyzed, and is in a perfect spot to really go for that, and is in a perfect spot to go for that Geomancy now. You know, all Gavin has to just make sure is that if that Kyogre switches out, does he still Wide Guard if he can figure out if they're switching out, or does he just stay? And we've seen Juan not choose a different move yet, despite Smeargle showing Wide Guard, and that that Kyogre has been going first every time. So probably a Choice Scarf Kyogre on one side of the field, as Oh, Smeargle going in for the white guard, no switch out from Juan, so it is indeed choice locked into there. Yep, that water spout again, not going to connect thanks to that wide guard. Probably not going to want to, don't know why he doesn't want to reveal that last Pokemon on the back. Raichu goes for the Nuzzle, is going to paralyze that Xerneas on this turn. Might kick in on this turn, as Xerneas actually is able to go for the Geomancy, get set up, get that +2 to that speed, special defense, and special attack, and that power is going to make sure that 2-turn doesn't have the potential for the paralysis on there. So the Xerneas now has to fight against that 1 in 3 chance of paralysis, as that Smeargle has to decide if it keeps wide guarding against this Kyogre that hasn't switched out yet. So Gavin unfortunately has that paralyzed Xerneas, but is still in a good position to just kind of go after this Kyogre. We saw the Dazzling Gleam from before, so if he can just get a lot of damage into that Kyogre, which has, I'm assuming, has been now locked into that water spout, is at least able to mitigate the damage that Kyogre will be putting out thanks to that water spout. So Gavin's biggest enemy right now is definitely going to be RNG, as Kyogre is finally withdrawn, and Yveltal is going to be the Pokemon that is sent out here. That Dark Aura are going to benefit any potential knockoffs or such punches it has, as Smeargle goes for the wide guard on the turn that Kyogre finally switches out, as Raichu goes for the Volt Switch, goes into that Smeargle. There's a lot of damage to it, and is the special defense drops are definitely hurtful to it as Kyogre comes back in. So gonna have to decide if he wants to commit. Ooh, the paralysis kicking in. That's rough. Ouch. That would have been a nice turn to do damage to both of those Pokemon at the same time, but that paralysis is really hurting that speed boost that Xerneas has, because that Raichu got to go first. The Xerneas is not going to be as fast as it could be, so a little bit of a scary situation for Gavin right now. Gonna have to play this very carefully. That 1 in 3 chance, or that chance paralysis, really hurts to watch if you're Gavin. As Kyogre gets out of there, Raichu comes back and brings in that fake out pressure. Gavin is, Smeargle avoids the Oblivion Wing, as Dazzling Gleam is finally able to go off. Does super effective damage to Yveltal, picks up a knockout, but that Raichu with a Focus Sash is still pulling on. However, Yveltal goes down on this turn, avoided the Oblivion Wing, which was fantastic for that Smeargle. As Smeargle goes for the Lovely Kiss, gets the connect on there, and puts that Raichu to sleep. Lovely Kiss Smeargle. I understand why it's hard there, but it is ridiculous. So accuracy, yeah, see that accuracy raise from earlier, I think it's now at +4 on that accuracy. Definitely made sure that Lovely Kiss hit. So Gavin is still in a good spot. Ooh, that Kartana though might actually change all of that. That Kartana is a fast Pokemon, unless if that Smeargle gets paralyzed when it goes for a Follow Me, that Xerneas is going to be unable to really do anything against it. So Gavin's still in a tough spot. That Nuzzle, that guaranteed 100% paralysis to your opponent, is really paying off. That Raichu sleeping, knowing that it had taken care of what it needed to do. So that Kartana in a good spot actually right now to kind of really go after whatever it wants on Gavin's side. As Raichu stays asleep and Kartana goes for the Smart Strike, goes after that Xerneas. Is gonna bypass all of those. Is manages to hold on with like a little under half, as Xerneas goes for the Moonblast better fairy move. Sorry, that single target fairy move goes into that Kartana, and Lovely Kiss, thanks to those +4 accuracy boosts from Moody, puts that Kartana to sleep and allows Gavin to just kind of click Dazzling Gleam next turn if it needs to. So in a really good spot to just kind of pick up 2 knockouts at this point. That Kartana gonna have to take a turn of necessary sleep. That Raichu, however, already taken one, has a chance to wake up. Can't fake out anymore though, because it's been on the field for 1 turn already. But we saw Volt Switch do a lot of damage from before, so it might actually be able to attack, but does stay asleep on this turn, and that Kartana is going to stay asleep on this turn, so if Xerneas can move, it can pick up a double knockout with Dazzling Gleam. Goes for it, is going to pick up that double knockout, and it's just going to be that Kyogre in the back, which one Moonblast should definitely take care of it if it needs to. As Raichu faints, and Smeargle doesn't really have to do anything right now. Goes for Lovely Kiss to nothing, as hopefully it gets a speed boost. Gets a defense boost and drops on the special defense, which is going to be tough with that Kyogre coming in. That Kyogre, which is at full health. And we know can kind of definitely use Water Spout now to the best of its ability and probably knock out both of Gavin's Pokemon. So, if that Kyogre has a single target move, it needs to go for it now, because if not, Gavin can just click a wide guard and win this. And if that Kyogre locks itself into something that is not, that is a spread move, it's gonna be in trouble. And it's just gonna be Gavin's game to be like, hey, I'm gonna see how bad this paralysis goes, and we're just gonna go after this Kyogre. Because if you go into that water spot again, ooh, but the paralysis is gonna be tough on there. It's not able to get that wide guard as water spout connects with both Pokemon. That paralysis is so rough. That Lunala in the back is also paralyzed. So this is so that was a turnaround. That was definitely a turnaround from one side. That Raichu put in the work it needed to with all that nuzzling. This yikes. So this Lunala is gonna have to try to hold on his water spout. That single target water spout is gonna connect to that Lunala, does enough damage to knock it out, forcing us to a game 3. I cannot believe that Nuzzle Raichu put in the work it needed to force that game 3. That is fantastic. So don't sleep on Cantonian Raichu again, I guess, guys. That Nuzzle, or at least Nuzzle. Don't sleep on Nuzzle in a fast Pokemon. So very good job to Juan. We are definitely getting that game 3. He definitely adjusted the way he needed to. That Raichu and that Kyogre on the field definitely put a lot of pressure on to Gavin. That Nuzzle especially paying off dividends in that later half of that game. That was amazing to watch. So I think Gavin's going to have to take care of that Raichu a little bit more seriously. It's a little bit hard when it's holding a Focus Sash, and you have to make sure you either break. No matter what happens, you have to hit into it twice. You either break the Sash or you just double tap into it. And honestly, Gavin having to kind of choose which to go after, that Kartana especially being a threat to to that setup Xerneas. Gavin's gonna have to figure out how to kind of go around that, and Juan's gonna just have to decide if that strategy is gonna work for a second time as we go into game 3, 1-1, and this one deciding who's gonna win round 4 here. We're 2/3 of the way there, guys, so thanks for hanging on. As Ludicolo now and Xerneas is gonna be the Pokemon on the field. I've definitely seen this lead before. Someone is Kartana, and Tapu Lele, though, is gonna be Juan's choice. So good. So that Psychic Terrain that's going to be going up at some point. So Fairy Aura going first, and then Psychic Terrain going up means that we have no Fake Out and no Fake Out pressure from that Ludicolo. The Xerneas is in a very precarious spot. It has to protect or it has to switch out, or else it is going to go down to a double tap from that Tapu Lele and that Kartana. Kartana's Smart Strike is going to do an insane amount of damage into it, and Tapu Lele on terrain with a Psychic type move is a monster of Pokemon to deal with. Ludicolo actually going to be switched out first here. We are going to be getting that Incineroar from earlier, going to intimidate. More importantly, that Kartana, not as much on that on Tapu Lele. It is going to be threatened by Flare Blitzes from this Incineroar. As Xerneas goes for Protect, stays in, but makes sure that it cannot get hit on this turn, as Juan goes for the knockoff into that Xerneas. He wants to knock off that power herb, and Psyshock goes into what was that Ludicolo's. Now that Incineroar does not affect it because Incineroar is a dark type. So very good turn for Gavin. Gets in that Incineroar very easily. Has a lot of damage threat onto that Kartana. Xerneas has protected itself, did not get its power herb knocked off, and is kind of able to either switch out or, you know, hope that that Incineroar can knock out that Kartana right away. It's probably not the switch out on this turn though, because it's not gonna be able to take a Smart Strike. Or if Juan decides to keep up this way, yeah, Kartana getting out of there, does not want to take that that Flare Blitz and go down on this turn. Focus Sash though from and that Focus Sash Raichu is in. That Sash is going to break thanks to this Xerneas using Moonblast, as Psyshock from Tapu Lele going into that Xerneas. That Raichu also gets that special attack drops, which is pretty okay. And Incineroar going for the U-turn into that Raichu getting knocked out on this turn. So Xerneas in an okay spot, is not set up and is at half health, but that Tapu Lele is going to be doing a massive amount of damage. If Gavin doesn't take care of it soon, it's going to be able to do a lot more to his team. The Lunala though, going to be coming into place for that U-turned Incineroar, as Juan now having to decide what Pokemon he's going to bring in place of that fallen Raichu. It is going to be Kartana again. Gavin can protect his Pokemon if he needs to on this turn and protect that Xerneas and keep Juan from double tapping into it again. This Lunala, not 100% sure exactly. We haven't seen much from it. It has been knocked out the one time it was on the field, and the game before that was just there. and got switched in on that turn. So this Lunala is still a mystery to Juan. And again, Lunala has such a wide range of moves that it has access to. It can definitely go after either Tapu Lele or Kartana with any sort of move that it wants. Both Pokemon on Juan's side are very kind of threatening to just knock out Gavin's Xerneas, and that Xerneas again hasn't been set up, so Gavin has to figure out if he wants to protect that or keep or like switch something out. But Xerneas is going to be leaving the field in place of possibly that Incineroar. Going to be at -1 again. This Kartana, it had switched out earlier, but it's going to be -1. And the Tapu Lele -2 again, not going to matter because it's a special attacker, as Tapu Lele protects itself from any attack that Lunala might target down into it, as Kartana goes for the knockoff, knocks off the item on that. Wow, knocks off the choice specs. Moongeist Beam though from Lunala going to go into that Kartana, and even with that super effectiveness, that Lunala took it so well with that Shadow Sneak, and thanks to no Dark Aura, did not take as much damage as it could have. Kartana in a bad position now, though. It is going to be in the yellow. It is at -1 though, still on its attack, and Gavin now has that free option of choosing a different move now with that Lunala. That choice specs would have done some better damage, but at least now he's able to decide if he wants to adjust the moves that he's using with that Lunala right now. That Incineroar is still in a good spot to kind of go after with a Flare Blitz onto either Tapu Lele or Kartana, or do a knockoff on its own and make sure that any items for the Pokemon here are going to be I guess knocked off, which, you know, what it says on the tin. But no Dark Aura to kind of benefit those two moves, as Lunala is actually going to get out of there, and that choice specs damage is not going to be enough, as Xerneas comes back in, and Xerneas' Fairy Aura is going to benefit those Fairy type moves a little bit, as knockoff though from Kartana goes into that Xerneas. Oh, not effective, but knocks off the Power Herb, which is going to be rough for that for Gavin if he wants to, you know, set that up, but instead takes a Moonblast from that Tapu Lele, sacrifices that Xerneas, and is going to get that Lunala back in for free, as Incineroar goes for the knockoff onto that Kartana, picks up the knockout on that Pokemon at least, and shows that Assault Vest, as now we've got Gavin, who has 3 Pokemon versus Juan's Tapu Lele and that Kyogre now. So Kyogre are going to have to decide which moves it's going to do. That Ludicolo in a great spot to Grass Knot though against this Kyogre, showing why Ludicolo is a great sort of Kyogre answer. It is a Pokemon who normally you pair with a Pokemon that has Drizzle, but now you're using against the main Pokemon that has Drizzle in this format. So Gavin kind of setting himself up nicely in that endgame. That Xerneas wasn't actually completely needed, as Ludicolo goes for the Grass Knot, and this is a heavy Pokemon and it's super effective. Not quite enough to pick up the knockout though, as Origin Pulse, Ludicolo avoiding that attack, but that Incineroar is definitely going to go down to this. And it is going to be that Lunala in the back versus this Kyogre and this Tapu Lele, as Tapu Lele's Psyshock does connect with that Ludicolo. Going to do a lot of damage onto it. Almost picks up the knockout, but Ludicolo gets all that health back thanks to that Fairy. And Ludicolo is now still in a very good spot to just go after that Kyogre and knock it out. But that Tapu Lele is at full health. And that Lunala is now going to be able to kind of go after it if it needs to. That Psychic Trade has expired though, so Psyshock, actually, I'm not 100% sure if Psyshock benefits from Psychic Trade still, because it uses your opponent's stats against him. But Grass Knot is going to be knocking out that Kyogre, so no more Orange Pulses from there, leaving Lunala free to kind of attack into that Tapu Lele. So Moongeist Beam from Lunala going to do a lot of damage to that Tapu Lele, and Tapu Lele has not shown any spread moves, so has to make a choice about what Pokemon it wants to go after. But that damage is going to be not quite enough to knock out that Tapu Lele. Is going to be free to use the Moonblast into that Lunala spot. Shadow Shield really helping keeping it around for a little bit longer. But Gavin now has both of these Pokemon that are faster than that Tapu Lele against Juan's team, and probably just giving this game to Gavin now in the round to Gavin. So Grass Knot from Tapu Lele is enough to knock it out, giving game 3 and the round to Gavin Michaels. That was a fun match to watch. That was definitely close. That Tapu Lele staying on the field kind of made me nervous a little bit, for Gavin at least. But very nice adjustments from Juan. I would like to say he really definitely forced a lot of choices on Gavin's side. I love this Pumpkaboo. Look at it. It is, here, this is what I was talking about. It's winking. It's the cutest thing ever. But very nice game from both players. I adore the adjustments that they both made against what had happened in games 1 and 2. So good job to them. I will see you guys for round 5 before the last round of Swiss, which is round 6. By the way, yeah, I think we had like, what, 36 at the beginning of the day? So we do have top 8 cut and still top 8 points, right? Yep, so no more curses for them on that side. But we'll see you guys in a little bit for round 5. Bye!